Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crunch Time Podcast with the N326 duo. With your hosts, Sam Godze and Tanner Dislin. The clock is winding down. It's time for Crunch Time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 216 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Tanner Dislin. That's Sam Gotze. We are the N326 duo. Sam, how are you doing today? We're recording on Tuesday, the day after the Thunder take their first playoff loss of the playoffs.
Yeah, we tend to bash the NBA a lot on this show, and I think very deservingly. But last night was one of the best basketball games I've seen in a very long time. Obviously sucks not coming out on top in a game like that, but it was back and forth, really fun game. And I mean, Victor Wembanyama might be the young GOAT at this rate already. He was absolutely incredible. What he was doing on that floor is literally like an alien, which is his nickname. It's insane, but tough loss for sure.
No doubt about it. I'm sure we'll get more into that later in the episode. But yeah, last night was tremendous basketball. I mean, I guess I say we'll get into it later, but like, do we just kind of start there? We had a fun week in baseball too. This past weekend was rivalry weekend. Yeah. You know, Cubs, White Sox, Yankees, Mets, pertinent to this podcast in particular. But where do you want to start?
I think we got to start with last night.
All right, we'll start hoops because last night was tremendous basketball. It was. And it's funny. I thought Oklahoma City was going to win. And I thought when it went to overtime, Oklahoma City was going to win. And I thought when it went to double overtime, Oklahoma City was going to win. And I thought the name we were going to say, first and foremost, let's talk about this guy, was going to be Alex Pearson.
Yeah.
Because he was tremendous. He had 31 off the bench for Oklahoma City. But the conversation has to start, stop, and continue all the way through with Victor Wembanyama because he is absurd.
Yeah, absolutely absurd. It's crazy. You thought the game was going to be won by OKC because I believe it was a first overtime period with about 26 seconds left in the quarter or overtime period. Wembanyama just pulls up from 40 feet and like he's Steph Curry, which ironically is exactly where Steph hit big time play just a few years ago. I mean, when he hit that, I was like, yeah, we got no shot. I obviously, like, you hear how good this Wembanyama guy is. I've personally been following him since like he was 17 playing for France and Natteret 92 over in France as well. This dude has been an absolute killer. And he's doing it on the highest level right now. In a game where De'Aaron Fox wasn't playing, he stepped up big time. It didn't seem the Spurs skipped a beat without him. It was just a all-around amazing performance by the Spurs, obviously led by Victor Wembanyama. I mean, 24 rebounds, 41 points on 14 for 25 shooting. It was incredible. I thought there would be a little dip with how much he was playing. No, he was just dominant. Had some pretty sweet poster like photos in this one. But yeah, dude, if you're the Thunder, I don't know how you game plan against this guy because he can hit you, he can beat you on the outside, he can beat you on the inside. He can beat you not really scoring. He can be just a dominant presence on the other end, and that's the scariest part. There is no weakness in his game at a very young age.
Yeah, and that's where because there have been 7'4" players in the NBA before. There have been behemoths like Boban was one. And,
Mm-hmm.
you just have these guys, but pretty much every single one of them was like the human representation of like a 7'4" guy in 2K, where like
Yeah.
literally their hand movements are like comedically slow
Mm-hmm.
and they just can't move around the floor. 7'4" with the ability to pull up from 30 feet in overtime when your team is down three. 7'4" while when they close out on that shot, all he does is take one dribble and he's at the rim for an easy dunk off the bounce.
Yeah.
7'4" who ended with 41. And included that 3-point shot and 12 free throws, so he's efficient at the line as well. 7'4" who gathers 24 rebounds. 7'4" who can play 48 minutes, and 7'4" that is now the back-to-back defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Did he win 2 years ago? I know he won this year. He might not have won last year.
I think he was back to back.
I think he was back-to-back too.
I
but
could be wrong.
We could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
This defensive player of the year, there's nothing this guy can't do. And we were talking a little bit, what do you do if you're the Thunder? And I think the conclusion we came to was have like 5 centers and just keep cycling through bodies and just keep leaning on them, have some of them accrue some fouls, cycle the guys through, just throw bodies and hope and pray that the physicality, the minutes, because he did play 48 of the 58 minutes in this game, and you hope that all of that just eventually wears on him, because if he's playing like this, I don't know if there's no team that can beat the Spurs. I don't know if there's a team in NBA history that could beat the Spurs, to be honest with you, because no one can contend with 7'4" that moves like that.
Yeah, honestly. I think the presentation of SGA winning another MVP definitely sparked a little fire in Wembanyama's definitely woke a beast. Shea wasn't all that great. Shot 7 for 23, 2 for 7 from 3. Chet Holmgren was abysmal. 2 for 7, 2 for 4.
He had the big block though. The big block at the end.
Yeah.
Which was a key defensive play and worth.
It's the one time
but,
I said let's go Chet. So
yeah,
that was something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was very frustrating as a Thunder fan because, like you said, Alex Caruso had 31 points in this one off the bench.
Wasted a Caruso game. I mean, obviously Shea got his, even though he didn't shoot well. And then also worth mentioning Jalen Williams as well.
Yeah. In regards to him, it seems he still isn't 100%, especially late in that game. You saw him grabbing his quad, and it'll be interesting how healthy he can stay in this series because he is a huge asset, especially on that defensive end for sure.
Now, enough of that mumbo jumbo. Let's talk about what really matters, Sam. Last night, game 1 was the conference finals. There was no white jersey on the floor.
Yeah.
What say you about this? Because I have a take.
Honestly, I didn't even notice, to be honest with you, Tanner. Don't like it.
Yeah.
What just happened?
The batter called timeout, and the pitcher didn't notice it till it was released.
Yeah,
we were thrown off by a pitch that went almost over the protective netting on the behind home plate. But I loved it, to be honest with you. The thing that I hate. I'm a big anti-fancy jersey in the playoffs, unless it's a throwback. I can get on board with some throwbacks. The Thunder ones that they did, I don't even know what jersey it is. Statement City, whatever the hell. I thought it was awful. They're the ones that say OKC. They're like they have And they have, of course, they have the reskinned court.
Yeah,
I hated
the
it.
like Native American
Yeah.
logo.
But
Okay, yeah,
some that are like orange that like kind of play
yeah,
with the Thunder. Like
yeah. I
I
think I know what you're talking about.
the ones that they wore were so bad, and like wearing them in a playoff game is absurd. Like I thought they were terrible. Um, but no white, but like just yeah, the Thunder blew out at their home arena wearing their
Yeah,
blue jerseys and the Spurs on the road with the black. I thought it looked great.
yeah,
I thought it looked great. And I just, yeah, too many NBA teams and too many teams in general where I guess it's more of an NBA issue than any other because the NBA is they have 20 jerseys in a
hmm
sport that don't need that many.
yeah,
No sport needs that many. But I just yeah, they got to and like I know specifically with the Knicks, like in both their series thus far, they wore like their standard normal jersey game one. In game two, they wear like the black alternate. And
yeah,
it's bad. Stop it. Stop it.
yeah,
I thought the blue and the black looked
yeah.
great.
I didn't even notice, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I like it.
Yeah. That's
For
what
sure.
really matters. Eastern Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
absolutely.
But yes, now we look towards the rest of the week. Game two, you will know the result of by the time this releases. That is tomorrow, Wednesday. Um, do we know anything about the health of De'Aaron Fox?
I haven't seen anything, but I would assume he would be out again, especially with a pivotal game one win. But yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything today.
According to this, he's officially a game time decision.
Gotcha.
I know it's just more coach
Yeah,
speak of he'll
questionable.
do everything he can to get back, yada yada yada. It's more, yeah, it's an interesting slope because you've did your job, you've taken one on the road. Do you give him the extra game because then he'll get a day off and maybe two for the travel,
Yeah,
so you'll end
I
up getting
mean,
like 5 days off, or do you be like, we have a chance to take a 2-0 lead on the
mhm.
road? Do we really press this thing?
I mean,
We'll see.
Dylan Harper though
He was great. Yeah, I mean,
stepped up in his absence.
yeah. What do you
24, 11,
24?
and 6.
Yeah, he had a
That'll do
couple
all
huge
right.
buckets in the overtime
Yeah.
too at the rim. Yeah, no, yeah, I was impressed by him, especially because he didn't have his best shooting night. But
Yeah.
in the overtimes, he was very aggressive and was very good around the rim, which was very impressive, I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. But Eastern Conference Finals, game one tonight as we record, tips off in about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can't believe I would like to go back. It's crazy. We've had this conversation on here before, but not too terribly long ago, you and I were having these conversations not about the conference finals, but where our team will land in the lottery.
Yeah.
Who our first round pick will be and now we're both in the conference finals, and the Knicks are 8-point favorites in the Eastern Conference Finals in game one. I can't believe that. I just simply can't believe that.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Obviously Cavs took care of business against the Pistons game 7.
2 game 7s for the Cavs so far. So they've
yeah.
played 14 playoff games coming into this series. So
Yeah. But took care of business against the Pistons was never really a game.
game 7.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting series for sure.
Yeah. And we've said it a few times now, but this is the quintessential rest versus rust debate. We see it now on here. There's a chance OG might be back with that much needed rest. New York hasn't played in over a week. I mean, maybe
he is
pushing
back.
2 weeks.
He is starting tonight.
He's officially back. Yeah. They're pushing 2 weeks since they've played. Cleveland, they've played 14 games so far, but just got a huge game 7 win in decisive fashion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, we will have to see some narratives at play here, but I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you not be?
Yeah. Other NBA news other than the playoffs, Jason Kidd got fired.
Yeah. Interesting.
So the brain trust, the GM and the head coach behind the Luka trade are both now looking for jobs.
Makes sense.
Now, I don't know if Jason Kidd had anything to do with that, but the people holding, positions of power in that organization for one of the worst trades in sports history are now both without a job.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. It is one of those stories we'll look back on. I think we're already doing it. Is like it's the conspiracy of is the NBA rigged because they're. I mean, the fact they got the Cooper flag is absurd. Just very interesting how all this is panning out.
It is weird because there's a lot of people talk about the rigging of professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's long been my stance that there's just no possible way
Yeah.
to keep everyone quiet,
Yeah.
especially after, and a lot of these guys work their entire lives to get where they are. And imagine being told, like, no, you can't win or do this because
Mm-hmm.
that won't make us money. Like, no, I just don't think that's possible. However, with the lottery, that's something I think that maybe they could get away with.
Yeah.
And it's fishy. The best argument I think against that would be probably their biggest market, and if not their biggest market, then their second biggest, New York, LA, which one's bigger? The biggest team in the biggest market, and as you can see from their recent success, the Knicks got seemingly screwed by the lottery every year. So like maybe but it could just be simple as those weren't rigged,
Yeah.
and this one was, and that there was a handshake deal. Yo, get Luka to LA with LeBron and we Cardia. Who knows? Not me. But it just doesn't really seem to be working out for the Lakers either.
Yeah.
They're still having first round exits or second round exits like they did without Luka. I know he was injured, and then it certainly hasn't really worked for Dallas. They were in the finals with Luka, and now they're missing the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Very, very bizarre for sure.
But any other NBA topics you wanted to talk about? I mean, we only got two active series going on, so
yeah. We kind of talked about it last night, but I kind of want to bring it up again. Like, how awesome would it be if what we saw last night was night in and night out?
Last night was tremendous.
That was we are probably one of the biggest NBA haters, and it was one of the best basketball games I've seen in a long time.
I think we should start phrasing it as NBA regular season haters.
True.
Because, and even the first round got a little snoozy with some of the teams that they let in.
True.
But, like, you and I both agree, as evident from last night, when you have the best players in the world playing basketball, showing effort playing basketball, playing all facets of the game, and just giving it 110% to go out and win a basketball game, it is tremendous to watch.
Yeah.
It is absolutely tremendous to watch.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. We are regular season and partial first round haters.
Yeah. Once this, I mean, obviously, no shit. Once it gets good, it gets good. But like, once it gets good, I'm gonna be locked in because I love basketball. You love basketball, and we love to watch people play basketball the way basketball is supposed to be played.
Yeah,
and even then, some of the rules of the NBA don't make that possible. But still, it's a good product when everything is going the way it should, like it did last night.
Yeah,
last night.
Absolutely.
But should we touch on some MLB topics, Sam?
Yeah, let's do it.
I heard a rumor. I want to get your thoughts on this rumor.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who gave me this rumor, by the way. This is an anonymous person told me that the Southsiders are the top dog in Chicago. How do you respond to this?
That's a take, but I don't know about that one, but I mean, rivalry week happened, and the White Sox got the best of us, unfortunately. But I mean, it's a common problem that the Cubs have faced the past 2 years. The lack of pitching was evident in this one. White Sox in this series, game three had 9 runs. We had 8. They had 8 runs in game two, and then 5 runs in game one. I mean, if we don't score double-digit runs or high single digits, we're screwed because the pitching is injury ridden for sure. But
A weak spot on the team when healthy, potentially disastrous when injury ridden like it is right now.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I obviously was just kind of yanking your chain a little bit, but the Chicago White Sox, there's a bigger discussion to be had about the Chicago White Sox because no one saw this coming.
Yeah,
I certainly didn't see this coming. I don't think any White Sox fans saw this coming. I don't think the White Sox front office saw this coming. The White Sox might be the best story in baseball. With taking 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, they're now 24-22, or at least they were on Sunday. They lost on, so they're now 24-23 as they are playing on Tuesday. They haven't, first pitch hasn't happened yet, but still they are. Yeah, they're 24-23, above 500, and nearly 50 games in.
Yeah.
Wow, like that's more than just a hot start. That's a scrappy, fun team.
100%. Yeah.
And no one saw it coming, and myself included. And this series was just like a big, like, whoa. The White Sox are here. They're in second place in the Central, only 2 games behind Cleveland. And it's like the White Sox are fun, and hopefully they keep on putting together a fun little year because the White Sox, like, I don't know, it's similar to New York. It's just like when both teams are good, it's awesome. And when there's some real bad blood there, it's awesome. Because Sam, there might be some bad blood between the Cubs and White Sox, with your dear friend Pete Crow Armstrong, who had some choice words to say.
Yeah, obviously, that clip has blown up on social. A White Sox fan was chirping, and PCA said some explicatives that I will not repeat on the pod. But personally, I think people getting mad about it is wild. I think this is great for sports. I mean, you talk about rivalries and the history behind all these great sports rivalries. There's shit talking. There's a lot of shit talking. There's a lot of dislike. And I feel like this series hasn't really had, let's call a spade a spade. Both of these teams haven't been that good in the past couple of years. So it hasn't been as heated. But having these two teams kind of be at the top of their division definitely sparks a lot of noise within the rivalry. So I thought it was funny. I think anybody that's upset about it is crazy. This is what makes sports rivalries so fun, is when there's an actual dislike for the other team. I don't have a problem with the White Sox fan chirping Pete Crow Armstrong, and I don't think the other side. I just think if you're defending either side, you're crazy. But that's just my opinion.
I think ideally, probably the whole thing wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like, we say it's good, it's good. Like, ideally, it probably nothing would have happened. But yeah, in the end, like, do I have a problem with it? No. Like, yeah, it's a division game. You talk a little something, say something to the players, which again maybe you shouldn't do, but then the player heard it and talked right back, and like, no harm was done. No extra personal attacks. They were both general statements.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously some colorful, it was pretty colorful, but it wasn't like, any sort of problematic language, I don't think. Or maybe you could say it was. Yeah. But like, I guess there was no real like slur or anything like
Yeah.
deeply personal that was said. So like I don't know, just if you can't take that back to you, don't talk shit in the first place.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think we're on a similar page with that. Uh,
Yeah. I do think it was right. He has come out and said he regretted it. I mean, that's probably smart
yeah,
for sure. But no fine, which I think is good. But yeah, it was it was definitely a funny clip.
yeah,
I'm
it
not gonna
was.
lie. But yeah. Heated rivalry. We've seen it how many times in other rivalries. It just got caught on camera. Someone had their phone sitting next to a girl up. That's just how it is.
This is good, man. This is
And
good
one
for
of the
Chicago
best
baseball.
and one of the best players in the MLB right now. It's gonna go viral.
Yeah,
Like it is what it is.
this is good for Chicago baseball, no doubt about it. Um, Mets took 5-3 from the Yankees. Worth noting.
Da 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 da.
Yankees lose. Always a good time when the Yankees lose. However, it did come at a cost. The I would say the pitcher who has performed the best this year for the Mets. I wouldn't say he's their best pitcher, but he's performed the best and he's put together a really nice year. Um, Clay Holmes is his name. Uh, game one, the game the Yankees won, he had a 111-mile-an-hour ground ball back up the middle, hit off his leg, and it broke his leg. So he will be sidelined for a long time.
Yeah,
So
that sucks.
it took, it definitely costed something, but the offense is starting to pick it up a little bit. Took 2 out of 3, and now a team that was once 10, 11 games under 500 is now 5 games under 500.
Yeah.
So, just keep stacking wins, keep winning series. It's all you can do when you dug yourself such a big hole. So, love to see that. Did you happen to see anything about the A's Angels game last
I did not.
night?
Fill me in.
A's Angels last night being Monday. Uh, the starter for the A's, JT Ginn, actually former Mets prospect, who was traded to the A's, he had a no hitter going into the bottom of the ninth. They were on the road. He had a no hitter. It was a 1-0 game. It was a 1-0 baseball game. He had a no hitter. He comes in the ninth. First batter gets a base hit. Fine, whatever. He got him. Manager decides to leave in JT Ginn. Second batter, walk off 2-run home.
That's
run. No
brutal.
hit into the ninth, and a loss.
Yeah.
Brutal way to lose.
Yeah, that's tough. Brutal. Yeah. Way to end it, but yeah. Tough one there for the Athletics for sure.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think some other any other headlines in baseball if you have any others you'd like to bring up.
Not really, man. In the MLB side of things.
Okay. Because I have one last topic I would like to hit. Unless you have any other topics on the docket here. Because I think the university who undoubtedly employs the sleaziest individuals as their head coaches is kind of at it again. Will Wade,
Yeah.
back at LSU, he has put together a couple signees for LSU basketball. We could do, how like a lot of times when they're doing like a trivia game and you want to guess the player and you give them the career path. I'm not expecting you to guess the player, but I'm going to give you the career path. Okay. This player that just signed with LSU I believe yesterday.
Yeah.
He started at UMass,
Yeah.
transferred to St. John's,
Yep.
then to the Utah Jazz, then the Boston Celtics, and now back to LSU.
Good old RJ Lewis.
They signed another one about an hour ago.
Oh my God.
His career path, his first team, there is no first college team. His first team was the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
And then now he's left the Cavaliers and signed with LSU. This was Salou Niang. I don't know who that is, but he is the new signee for LSU. What say you, Sam, about the sleaziest individual at the sleaziest university pulling this off once again?
I mean,
or I should say not once again, because it was Nate Oates, the other one, but just like this idea that some of these teams in a particular region may be bending the rules a little bit to get the best talent available.
yeah. I know, at least in RJ Lewis's case, there's some things that like need to be approved or some weird that I don't necessarily understand. So he's not technically an LSU Tiger unless he like gets granted more eligibility. I believe there's another EuroLeague player, Yam Madur, I think is his name. He got drafted by I believe the Knicks. Has played in over in Europe in EuroLeague for like 5 years. Came from EuroLeague before he entered the draft. He is looking to come back to college, and I believe it is LSU. But back to your question, I mean, I'm not shocked, but the fact there's no rule against, like, the fact we're even having this conversation is absurd to me. It like
There's not a single person who's like, yeah, this is a good idea. Not a single person. Not one.
yeah, especially when they've logged NBA minutes. Like, I don't know how you can all of a sudden get eligibility back. Like, at this point, you might as well just remove if this gets approved, which I hope it doesn't. What's stopping you from? I mean, this would be absurd, but what's stopping you from getting like LeBron James?
Yeah, let's go. Hey, Victor
Or
Wembanyama.
Kevin Durant or Victor Wembanyama or like I just don't know. It seems the whole world is in agreement with us except the people that make this decision. And it's been an issue since the NIL, the transfer portal was just basically erratic, like no rules. Is a wild west, and it's becoming more and more of an issue each and every day. But Will Wade, I'm not surprised he's doing it. I just think I blame the NCAA way more than I do Will Wade. Am I surprised? No, but like the fact he's even allowed to do this is absurd.
I agree with that. The onus of the blame is 100% on the NCAA. It's sleazy. It's a sleazy move. But yes, it is the NCAA's job to prevent this from happening. I actually just now seeing this is a tweet from Matt Grossenbach. He said perhaps Will Wade is actually so upset with the way college basketball is going that he's purposely trying to break or bend every rule possible to get the sport back into its original model. And it was quote tweeted by Ryan Hammer.
Shout out.
A great college basketball follow if you feel so inclined out there. And he said, starting to think this might be real. Will Wade and the NCAA have famously not gotten along well in the past. So maybe Will Wade is really just trying to say, yo, do something.
Yeah. So I actually, speaking of Ryan Hammer, shout out. He actually quote tweeted a tweet from Eurohoops.net about Yamadur. He supposedly agreed to a deal with LSU worth $5 million per season. He got drafted in 2020. legit EuroLeague vet, like I said. So it's insane. If that's true, shout out shout out Will Wade. If it's just like a double bird to the NCAA, I would clap it up for Will
if
Wade.
this is true, if this is truly a like, look, see how absurd this is. We need to do something about this. I take it all back.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, absolutely.
Everything you're saying is correct. It is absurd. We do need something, and we just can't let. Yeah, and the fix is so simple. The fix is so unbelievably simple. How many times have we fixed the NCAA?
Yeah,
How many times? Where the
damn near every other episode.
like, all right, let's just do it again. Hey, NCAA, transfer portal window does not start until the season is over. 1. 2, there is actual punishment for tampering. You cannot contact other players while they are in season and not in the transfer portal window. They have to be in the transfer portal in order for you to contact them. 3, you get 1 free transfer. Every other transfer beyond that, you need to wait a year like it used to be, with the caveat of your head coach leaves or, I think there are some unique examples that would have to be clearly stated, but one of them being if your head coach leaves, then you should be able to leave without penalty. And now 4, the minute you log minutes, the minute you play for a professional basketball team, league, whatever, you are no longer eligible to come back and play in college.
Yeah. Crazy.
I think we just did it. I think
once again, crunch time solves it again. Yeah, it's just absurd. I mean, I think like, yes, this is a huge issue, but like Yaxel Lindenborg being 26, I don't think is good for the sport either. I will say though, Yaxel is because he's played at JUCO for a couple of years, so I think I personally like the fact JUCO doesn't. I think 1 year in JUCO should count. Like if you're at JUCO for 2 years, that should count as 1 year eligibility.
Sure.
So it's just
I get it.
The fact this is happening, like the biggest issue was they let NIL go, they let transfer portal rules go, and they had no guidelines, no rules, and it's hard to fault the players for taking advantage, but the fact we have pros, like certified pros, trying to get eligibility back is absurd to me.
Yes, absolutely agreed. And what was I going to say? I was going to say something, but I forgot. Oh, I always hate when we get those stats where it's like, whoever the Yaxel Lindenborg is older than Cade Cunningham. And it's like, damn, like this shouldn't be the case. We should watch the best young players play in college, and then when they're ready, and certainly not when they're, 4 or 5 year NBA vets, they should certainly not be younger than other players.
Yeah.
Major League or in the NBA.
Yeah. It's absurd.
It is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Anything else you want to bring up on episode 216?
Just a couple quick things.
Yeah.
Last night, obviously for us, is headlined by the Spurs Thunder on the ice.
Yes.
Game 7, Canadians versus Sabres was absolutely electric.
Heart breaks from afar, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Year after year.
That was awesome. So, like, as much love as NBA playoffs get, the NHL playoffs are just as good, if not better.
Real quick, actually, before we move on, we talked a little bit about this in our group chat. What did you think of that like the single most like nerve-wracking sports, I guess I don't know, moments not the right word, but like viewing experience
Yeah.
is I guess maybe we're not equipped to answer this just because we don't have a hockey team that we care about this
Yeah.
much, but like a overtime in the playoffs, specifically a game 7
Game 7.
overtime,
Yeah.
is just the most like I had no dog in the fight. I hadn't really watched too much of the NHL playoffs thus far, and I was like getting nervous
Yeah.
for no reason at all, just because it was so intense.
Yeah. It's I say this every year. It's one of those sports like for some reason there's this big rivalry between NBA and NHL. I don't know why. Because both of those sports are in playoffs, I should say, are awesome. But yeah, I mean, in a situation like that, when you're down a goal, I mean, it is one of the most nerve-wracking things for sure. But yeah, that was super awesome. If you don't like hockey, you're missing a great playoffs. I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest NHL fan, but these playoffs I know have been incredible.
Yeah, I mean the game tying goal with like in the third period and then going overtime. It's such intense hockey. It's incredible. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it
Yeah,
is, for my money, the single most nerve-wracking viewing experience in sports.
yeah, absolutely. Couple other things. The PGA Championship was last
Yes,
weekend. Aaron Rye won.
as we all expected.
Super cool story. Um, basically had he was on nobody's radar, finished 9 under, became the first English born player to win since 1919. Snapped a 10-year streak of an American winning the event. Yeah, he would, and it's not like he was playing competing at the top of the leaderboard with guys you never heard of. He was beating out Rory, he was beating out John Rahm, couple big names, but like it was it towards the end of Saturday, it seemed like, oh, we could be in for an awesome finish. Like there could be potential for a playoff, and Rye just kind of took care of business there. And then in a sport you don't really care about, but is a major headline, Conor McGregor is set to return to the UFC July 11th, 2026, facing off against Max Holloway. Rematch 13 years in the making.
Wow.
McGregor stepping into the octagon for the first time in nearly 5 years. He kind of made the UFC kind of what it is today. He made it mainstream, at least in my opinion. Obviously, the UFC heads are come at me, I'm sure, but it seems that way. We'll see how he performs, but that was some big news. It happened during I don't even know what the company, MVP promotions or something. It was the one on Netflix. Dana White dropped that during it, so a little bit of a competitive headline, but yeah, McGregor's back July 2026
For sure. Yeah. 13 years in the making. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Um, isn't there some sort of UFC at like the White House?
yeah, that I believe is later in the year. I can't remember the exact date, but yeah, can be interesting how that happens. But yeah, the last time these guys fought, Connor won a unanimous decision despite tearing his ACL mid-fight.
Good
So
God.
yeah, it's not like McGregor's coming back to face a much inferior opponent. It's a guy that has a lot of he has a lot of history with. So it's gonna be cool seeing him back in the
Yeah, he
octagon.
was boxing, right? That's where he was just like
He
he
just kind of
boxed for a minute.
was chilling for a
Oh
while. He
boy.
did box for a little bit, but he hasn't really been in the UFC realm for a while. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he bounces back.
No doubt about it. But that's going to wrap it up for episode 216 of Crunch Time. We're getting to it, Sam. The conference finals are underway. The Eastern Conference Finals has officially tipped as we're wrapping up this episode. So we got both of them going on, man. Exciting times. Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals was incredible. Wemby is just unbelievable and just continues to be somehow more perplexing every time he goes out and plays. We had a fun weekend in rivalry weekend in baseball, where specifically the White Sox and the Mets took 2 out of 3 in some major rivalry series as well. So make sure to follow the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok at crunchtime_pod. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube Crunch Time with the N326 duo. The clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Here.